There's a new commander in town. Harrisonburg now has a director of communications.
As the city's first director of communications, it carries a great weight. You know, it shows me that there are a lot of needs that the city has that we decided we need a director of communication to focus on these issues. And so I know that there are topics that I need to be able to address, that I need to be able to help the city council and our city manager's office and all of the departments in the city better communicate with our residents.
Michael Parks is Harrisonburg's director of communication. Parks is the first person to hold the city position. He's been on the job for about 4 months. I met with him at his office in City Hall.
My job description, my multi-page job description really boils down to getting out information about the services that the city offers and hearing what our residents want and bringing that back to this building, bringing it back to our city manager, bringing it back to council, letting them know what our residents would like to see and what our residents feel about the services that we currently offer.
Parks says he was impressed with residents' involvement.
One of the things that drew me here is how much is already being done. You know, when I first came up and started checking out the area, one of the things that was really appealing to me as someone that works on engaging better with the community was how many yard signs I saw out in people's yards just about topics that they were passionate about. And so right away I saw this is an engaged community that cares about what's going on here. So when I started thinking about what would I bring to Harrisonburg and what would I like to work on, it was mainly how can we better engage with those people? How can we get those people more involved in what we're doing on a day-to-day basis? And with the city's plan for the future, not only the next 3 to 5 years, but also the long-range 20-year plan, I saw that a lot of that was what they wanted to focus on. How can we engage better with our residents, let them know what services we offer, what are the gaps in services we have, and how can we fix that? And so that's where I see myself filling in. How can I help reach more segments of our population with the services we offer and see where are we falling short of reaching out to our community?
Parks has experience working with a large southern city, but says he appreciates small-town hospitality.
They call it the friendly city, and I've definitely seen that there's a reason for that. I don't know if I don't want to say that Charlotte is less friendly, but I definitely see that this is a very friendly community. My first experience when I went through the drive-thru of one of the fast food restaurants, I ended up staying in the drive-thru for 5 minutes just chatting with the lady who just wanted to know how my day was. So that was one of the first things that I noticed.
According to him, the diversity of the city council and leaders is a marketing tool.
So that's probably the thing that makes Harrisonburg the most unique of all the cities in our area, and even in this region, is how diverse Harrisonburg is. Not only with our population, but you look at our local schools and how many different languages are spoken at Harrisonburg City Schools. It gives you an idea of how diverse our population is and the different cultures that are being brought to the table. And that's something that we need to keep an eye on when we're coming up with different services, when we're trying to engage with our community, is engaging with different segments of our population may require some different tools that we need to put into play. And our city council is leading the charge on that.
The city is growing, which has led to growing pains, including construction and few parking spaces downtown. There are not many parking spots around the city, and even those are limited to 2 hours or even just 30 minutes. There are 10-hour parking spots around the city, but compared to what is being reserved for permit parking, even those are few and far between. I wanted to know, what is the city doing to correct the parking issue?
That's a good question right now because we are in the middle of our downtown parking study. And so we just last week put out a survey asking people for their thoughts on, first, how are they using the current downtown parking, and then also what would they like to see changed. Coming up on August 28th, we're going to have a public meeting where everyone is invited to come and talk about downtown parking. As we start to wrap our brain around, do we need to make some changes? Do we need to offer more parking? Do we need to do a better job with the parking that we have now? So it's very important that residents come out and take part. We've already had more than 700 people fill out that survey. It's been up for less than a week. We're hoping for a lot more. It's available on our website and social media. But right now we are in the information gathering stage in terms of parking. Once we have all that information, we'll start taking a look and analyzing that and saying, what can we accomplish? What are some easy things that we can do relatively quickly? What are some long-term goals that we're going to have to focus on when it comes to parking?
The communications director says he wants to be a part of continuing to build the city's workforce by using its assets, which includes James Madison University graduates.
Not only is it a huge economic driver for bringing people to our area, but it's also, you look at a lot of people even in this building who were educated at JMU, who grew up here, went to JMU, have stayed in this area, and when we have that, eager, qualified workforce, it helps bring in more economic development and more opportunities for everyone. We want people to have a place not only to learn, but to work in Harrisonburg.
He shared with me his vision for Harrisonburg's future.
What I hope to see in the next 5 years is we have more involvement from our public, letting us know what they would like to see us focus on. Obviously we are continuing to grow. Obviously we have a large, well-respected university in the heart of our city that we're going to have to work very closely with as we move forward. Not only supporting them, but supporting everyone in our community with the impacts of what comes with that. You see us right now, we're working on a lot of infrastructure projects. We're working on a lot of involvement programs. We're working on just having a better reach and understanding what the needs of our community is. So what I would hope in the next 5 years is we've identified what our needs are, we've identified what some of the gaps in services are, and if we haven't fixed those things, we're definitely moving toward being in a better place with providing those services and identifying and filling those gaps in services.
In Harrisonburg, Elaine Rackley for Breaking Through News.